Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to talk about the generative AI revolution and, more importantly, how you can actually be a part of it.
All right, so let's just jump right in. What if you could do all that? Because honestly, that's the big promise of this technology that basically just exploded onto the scene and started changing, well, pretty much everything.
So, to really understand where all this is headed, you gotta first take a step back and just appreciate how mind-blowingly fast this all happened. I mean, seriously, just think about this timeline. November 2022, right? ChatGPT launches, and it just captivates everybody. Then only a few months later, in March 2023, GPT-4 drops, and it's this huge leap in what it can do. In just a handful of months, we went from this being a kind of niche, lab coat and goggless concept to a global phenomenon. It kicked off this whole new wave of creativity that's, well, it's still picking up speed today.
Okay, but what is it really? That's a totally fair question. With all the hype, all the headlines, what are we actually talking about here? Okay, so here's the key thing to get. Older AI, right? It was mostly about analyzing data that already exists. But generative AI, this stuff creates brand new original content. It's not just a calculator, it's a creator.
All right, so let's check out how this creative power is being used. We're talking about a whole new toolkit that lets you turn simple words into some truly incredible results. It all kicks off with something super simple, a text instruction. In the biz, we call it a prompt. You're basically just telling the model in plain language exactly what you're picturing in your head. And boom, just like that, you get this amazing, high-quality image that literally did not exist a second ago. I mean, this is a perfect example of the magic, right? Tools like Midjourney or DALL-E, they're like a direct line from your imagination to the screen. This power, it really does feel like magic. But here's the catch. Making that magic from scratch, it costs a fortune. And that creates a massive problem for anyone who wants to build with it. Just look at this number, $2.4 million. That's the estimated cost to train just one of these powerful AI models, like Meta's Llama, from the ground up. We're talking about the huge engine models that power everything else. So yeah, this isn't exactly a weekend project for your garage. So this basically puts you at a crossroads, right? You have a choice. Do you somehow find a massive fortune to build your very own model from scratch? Or do you find a smarter way to tap into all the power that's already out there? Well, thankfully, for the rest of us who don't have millions of dollars lying around, a global community has stepped up with a powerful answer. The whole idea is to make this incredible tech accessible to everyone. And platforms like Hugging Face have become these amazing collaborative hubs. Think of it like a giant public library for AI. The workflow is brilliant and simple. You can download one of thousands of pre-trained models. Then you fine-tune it, which is just a fancy way of saying you teach it a new, specific skill using your own data. You can test it out, see how it does, and then, and this is the best part, you can share your new improved model back with everyone else. It's this awesome cycle where everyone helps everyone get better. Okay, check this out. Here's a real example. You can grab an open-source model like Meta's M4T. And let's say you feed it an audio clip in one language, like this one in Urdu. Now listen to the output. Wow, it's not just translating the words. It actually keeps the voice of the original speaker, just speaking a different language. I mean, this is literally AI breaking down communication barriers in real time. Okay, so the demos are cool for sure, but how is this stuff actually being used right now? By regular students and developers in places like Pakistan to create real, actual value. All right, let's take a look at a story about Aisha, a student developer. She was facing a super common problem if you've ever tried to sell stuff online. The incredibly boring, time-sucking job of creating tons of product photos and descriptions for her store. So instead of spending weeks, maybe even months on expensive photo shoots and hiring writers, she did something much smarter. She took an open-source AI model and fine-tuned it. With that one tool, she could take a single product photo and instantly generate 10+ different high-quality versions. It could write unique descriptions for her and even create all the database entries, all from a single command. That is a game changer. And it's not just for e-commerce. It's the same story in a field like data science. A task like exploratory data analysis that used to take an expert weeks to comb through everything. Now, it can be done in minutes. You literally just upload your file, ask a question in plain English like, hey, analyze this for me, and you get a full-blown report with charts and insights like right away.
The absolute best part about all of this? You don't need a giant pile of cash. You don't need a PhD in computer science to start playing around and actually building with this stuff today.
And really, this is what I want you to take away from this. For almost every powerful, expensive tool out there, like ChatGPT 4 or Midjourney, there is a really, really good free alternative that's popped up. So whether you need to write advanced text, create stunning images, or you want to dive into the open source world on a site like Hugging Face, the tools to get started without spending a single penny, they're out there, right now, waiting for you.
Look, this whole creators revolution, it's not just about using AI. It's about making a shift from just being a consumer of technology to becoming a creator with it. The tools are here, they are accessible, they're more powerful than you can probably imagine. So really, the only question left to ask is, what are you going to create first?